started then. Being April 20th, 21, 6:32-ish. This is a public meeting held by council under sections 17 and 22 of the Planning Act 1990 and is declared open. Members are to state any pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof before this item is discussed. There being none, this meeting is to consider an amendment to the County of Renfrew's official plan for a property located on Osborne Street, Part Lot 9, Concession 13. The meeting is a requirement under the Planning Act. In accordance with the Planning Act, notice must be given at least 20 days before the public meeting is held. Would the clerk please confirm the date the notice was circulated and calculate that we have the required 20 days notice?
The notice was mailed to all property owners within 120 meters of the subject property and the agencies as required under the Planning Act. Notice was also published on the township website and calendar on March 29th, 2021, and the notice was posted at the property location on March 29th, 2021.
The 20 days notice having been given, I now declare this meeting properly constituted to transact its business. Any person wishing to receive written notice of the adoption of the amendment being considered at this meeting must leave their name and mailing address with the township clerk by writing an email. The official plan amendment is being considered under section 17 and 22 of the Planning Act. Council is required to inform the public who is entitled to appeal to the local planning appeal tribunal. If a person or public body does not make oral submissions at the public meeting or make written submissions to the township of McNabb Braeside before the proposed official plan amendment is not entitled to appeal the decision of the County of Renfrew. The public body is not entitled to appeal to the decision of the County of Renfrew approval authority to the local planning appeal tribunal. If a person or public body does not make oral submissions at the public
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Thank you.
No worries. If a person or public body does not make oral submissions at the public meeting or make written submissions to the township of McNabb Braeside before the proposed official plan amendment is adopted, the person or public body may not be added as a party to the hearing of an appeal before the local planning appeal tribunal unless, in the opinion of the board, there are reasonable grounds to add the person or the public body as a party. Would the clerk please give a description of the proposed amendment?
The purpose and effect of the proposed official plan amendment is to redesignate the subject lands being 6.3 hectares in area from rural exception 13.
Ryan having difficulties?
The
meeting over?
No.
From
We're
the
just in
rural
the midst
from the rural exception 13 designation to the rural exception 19 designation. The rural exception 19 designation would permit future development in accordance with the rural policies of the County of Renfrew official plan, subject to the submission of any supporting studies and reports as deemed necessary. Additional information regarding the official plan amendment was available for inspection at the Township of McNabb Braeside Municipal Office during regular office hours. The notice was dated March 29th, 2021, signed by Lindsay Lee, CAO clerk.
Thanks very much. Are there any written comments received?
Yes. The Township Building Department will provide more detail or comments and or conditions after more thorough review. And the Septic Department is the same comment. Also, any development would require zoning amendment, site plan approval with all required studies. And the Town of Arnprior Land has reviewed the proposed official plan amendment and understands this would allow development. Please notify the office if any decisions made with regard to this application. That's everything.
Thank you. Mr. Howarth, would you have any comments for this application?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll keep my comments brief because I know the applicant and their planners online as well, and so they can probably provide some information as well. But the application is proposing a redesignation, taking land out of what's considered your employment areas and changing them to a residential designation or to allow future residential growth. So under the provincial policy statement, there is a requirement to have a comprehensive review done. So the applicant did do that. A study was prepared by JP2G. And that study was submitted with the applications, and we reviewed that and found that it met the requirements of the provincial policy statement. So this application is sort of setting the table for future development. This is so there will be more applications coming at a later date when they're ready to move forward with the actual residential component of it, when they know what they want to build. So this is just sort of setting the table in preparation of those future applications. So there will be more information that the township will have to consider at a later date. But at this time, staff are satisfied with the information that's been submitted support this redesignation. And the recommendation is that the official plan amendment be adopted. Well, essentially be supported by the township. Then it would be going up to the County of Renfrew for our approval. So it's the recommendation would be that council supports the proposed official plan amendment. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Howarth. Do any members of the public wish to speak to the amendment? And I'll just preface that by saying that the owner or the agent will have an opportunity next. Okay, would the owner or the agent of the owner of the property wish to speak to the amendment? And if you do, please state your name if you wish to speak.
I don't know, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you, sorry. It's Brian Whitehead, planner with JP2G Consultants. I'm here on behalf of Mr. and Mrs. Draper. And just maybe a few additional comments. This is a resubmission of a previous application that was, which was really intended to provide a similar official plan policy designation as the former Tembec lands on the opposite side of Usborne Street that you may recall were redesignated a few years ago. And we were working with that property owner, or not the property owner, but the proponent at the time, which was Mr. Orr, Tom Orr. At any rate, but this proposal is different from the last one in that there has been a land severance approved for that portion of the land that's located within 500 meters of the Armpire landfill. So it's a reduced amount of land that is proposed to be redesignated. And we have reviewed the draft planning report and the draft official plan amendment, and which is favorable. So we're hoping that council will see fit to endorse this amendment and circulate it to the county for approval. I don't have to, this is probably the start of as Bruce mentioned, a long journey. There will be a number of conditions that will have to be fulfilled in order for any development to occur on this site. The list will be extensive and it'll ensure that any development will be environmentally acceptable and compatible with surrounding land use. And I'm sure that the township staff will be vigilant in that regard. So I don't really have much more to add, but other than if there's any questions, I'd be pleased to respond to them, and would hope that council would see fit to recommend this amendment for approval. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions or comments from the members of council or the committee? This therefore completes the public meeting process. Council will give careful consideration to the arguments for and against the official plan amendment for this property, council's position on this amendment, and a corresponding motion will be brought forward to the, what would it be, May 6th, or have we made a date yet? May 4th? To the May 4th council meeting. Sorry, I'm toggling back and forth between screens. I therefore declare this public meeting closed.